I am back with part 6 of my video series on bad officiating in the 2016 NCAA Championship game. This video will focus on Rule 10, Section 1, Article 1, which defines illegal contact in general. Rule 10.1.1 states that a player shall not hold, displace, push, charge, trip, or impede the progress of an opponent by extending arms, shoulders, hips, or knees, or by bending his own body into other than a normal position, or by using any unreasonably rough tactics. This video has two clear-cut examples of this foul being missed by the officiating, so let's get right into it. The first example happens under 2 minutes to play in the second half. From the side camera view, you can't see the foul because it is on the opposite side of the court and the Villanova player blocks the view of this foul with his body. I will show this view just for reference purposes, but the instant replay from the backboard camera shows it in clear view. The illegal contact happens at the far side of the free throw line, just in case you want to attempt to catch it from this viewpoint.
Expect him to work down on the inside.
He's at the free throw line and now screening up high. Ochefu switched out on Page.
Now let's look at the exact same play from the broadcaster's slow motion instant replay, and you can get a clear view of Villanova's Daniel Ochefu extending his knees outward in the driving path of North Carolina's Marcus Page. By Rule 10.1.1, this is a foul.
Tenacious on the defensive end. Just ask Kansas, just ask Oklahoma, and now ask North Carolina.
And we've seen it.
I'm now going to show you this angle in 100 millisecond still frame split so you can see the foul as it progresses. Notice that not only does Villanova's Ochefu extend his knees into the driving lane of North Carolina's Page, but his upper body is contorting backwards into an other than normal position, which is also defined in Rule 10.1.1. A foul should have been called on Villanova's Ochefu, and since North Carolina was in the double bonus, Page should have went to the free throw line for 2 attempts. Instead, this play results in a no call, and North Carolina gets to inbound the ball from the baseline, resulting in a made 3-point basket by Page. While the no call itself actually provides a benefit to North Carolina, this is a clear violation of Rule 10.1.1 no matter how you look at it. But I guess you have to see it first before you can call it, which is why it was missed. This is a still frame taken from the side view at the point where the illegal contact is noticeable in the backboard view. Let's look at the position of the officials. Even though the near sideline official, Terry Weimer, is out of position, I still believe his view would have been obstructed had he been in good position. He's out of position because there's absolutely no reason for him to be this far down the sideline. The far sideline official, John Higgins, has his view slightly obstructed by Barry and Archie Tiagano, but the slightest movement toward either side of these two should open up some very good vantage points for him to make this call. The baseline official, Michael Stevens, would actually have the best view because he could see the same angle that the backboard camera angle shows, but unfortunately he is also out of position and his view is blocked by post play between Bryce Johnson and Phil Booth. If he makes the slightest movement toward either side of this post play, it would open up some good vantage points to see this foul. One of my biggest issues with officiating is when they go to a spot on the floor and become stationary. Many times during a single possession, the motions of the players are going to obstruct your views of certain angles. That is a given. It is entirely unacceptable to allow these angles to be continuously blocked throughout the entire possession, especially when it blocks your view of the on-ball action coming towards you. With Johnson and Booth engaged in post play and the ball action being originated around the top of the key, Michael Stevens should have repositioned himself to get a better view of the dribble penetration coming directly at him, but throughout the whole play he only makes so much as a sidestep. This missed call is entirely on the officiating. Now let's look at the other example. Ironically, the referees are actually in pretty good positioning to make the call, so it's interesting as to why a call was not made.
They do a great job getting into that lane. All their players have ability to get into the lane and make that 15-foot shot. In fact, they lead the nation in shooting the 2.
Wow, what a
This still frame shows exactly where the foul is committed. Villanova's Ochefu goes to block a shot by North Carolina's Page, but he elevates too early, flies by Page in midair, and the only recourse he has is to extend his leg back towards Page. The extension of this leg causes Marcus Page to trip over it and fall to the floor on the shot attempt. This is a clear violation of 10.1.1, and since the basket was made, Marcus Page would be awarded 1 free throw attempt. Yes, you know how I personally dislike the N1 foul calls, but as I've said before, it is in the rules and it must be called. I'm going to play that clip one more time, and since you know when and where to look for the foul, it becomes really obvious even in real speed.
They do a great job getting into that lane. All their players have ability to get into the lane and make that 15-foot shot. In fact, they lead the nation in shooting the 2.
Wow, what a
That wraps up the 6th installment of this video series. I have the details of both fouls and their impacts on the outcome of the game detailed in the score sheet. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read them. As always, thank you for watching my video, and I hope you will watch the next video in this series, which will cover my favorite topic in officiating, consistency.